Greetings, colleagues of the Blue Movement. I am Bashiru Vandi, the founder and global executive leader of the Blue Movement. The purpose of this video is to simply complement the effort of my colleagues to whom you've just listened, and then further explain the global administrative structure of this noble organization of ours. You see, in any professional organization, it is important to have a professional management system to actually mastermind the delivery of the vision of the organization. And that's exactly what we're doing. So in the Blue Movement, there are three major wings or organs, just like you have in a normal governmental structure of nations. We have three organs in the Blue Movement. They are the General Commission, the Global Executive, and the General Review Committee. Now, these organs, perform similar roles to, for example, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary of nations. What we're doing in the Blue Movement is, like I said, we're trying to create a structure in place that enables us to actually demonstrate what we want to see in society. You see, in the Blue Movement, we don't believe in futile and passive protest. Our quest in the Blue Movement is not just to agitate for theoretical change. We want to actually implement change. We want to demonstrate what we want to see in society. That is why our slogan is "Be the Change." So, in the Blue Movement, we have three major organs: the General Commission, the General Executive, and the General Review Committee. The General Commission is basically the custodian of our constitution called the Blue Charter. The General Commission ensures that all organs and members actually adhere to the content, to the diktat or instructions of the Blue Charter, which is our constitution, which is very paramount in the organization. The General Commission conducts elections and ensures that elections are conducted internally in conformity with the instructions of the Blue Charter. The General Commission is in charge of quality control. It inspects all divisions of management, including my office or my division, to ensure that the operational conduct conforms to the standards or the ethos of the Constitution, the Blue Charter. And what enables the General Commissioner, who is the head of the General Commission, to perform his or her job competently, morally, ethically, without fear or without any favors, is because I, the global executive leader, have no powers over the commissioner. I do not appoint him or her. He is elected, just like the global leader, myself. And that enables the General Commissioner to perform his or her duties ethically, competently, and decently. The General Executive organ, which is my division, is in charge of policy delivery. You see, the General Commission inspects to ensure divisions operate accordingly. My office, the General Executive, is like the executive branch of government. It's in charge of policy delivery. What happens normally in our organization, every year in December, we have our annual conference. And in that conference, the annual review committee meets and decides on what we've achieved, creates the report in a particular year, and what we intend to achieve in the following year. So in the annual speech, which is delivered by the leader, called the Blue Speech, there is an assessment of what has been achieved, and what is going to come in the following year. Now, whatever is set in that report, whatever is agreed upon and endorsed by the General Review Committee becomes then the duty, or become the duty, of the global executive leader to deliver. So the General Executive Wing is responsible for policy delivery. The General Review Committee is like the legislature. It meets annually and it decides on what the Blue Movement, or what we as an organization financially have in the bank, and what our logistical capacity is, and then what we can actually deliver. And then based on that assessment, the General Review Committee will then decide on what we're going to do in Sierra Leone and in all the various administrative regions of the world where we are operating for our members. What exactly we're going to do. For example, the committee might decide that based on our financial capacity and logistical capacity, we're going to build, like, for example, orphanages in the north, south, west, and east of Sierra Leone, an example. Or the General Review Committee can decide that, for example, next year, just an assumption I'm making, that the Blue Movement will grant scholarships to 10 students in every province. So that decision will be made in accordance with our financial capacity and logistical ability. So when the annual review committee meets, it decides on what we can do and what we're going to do. It is the job of the General Executive to deliver that. It is then the job of the General Commission to monitor the whole thing. So that's how the Blue Movement is globally administered. You see, and the reason why we've organized it this way is to demonstrate our conviction in the principle of the separation of powers. You see, as I've said, the General Executive, the leader, myself, should be elected. And I'm the founder, and obviously because this organization is new, I'm leading, I'm masterminding the procedures and the progress. But once everything is done, there's going to be a formal election in December. Now, I'll put my name forward for elections. And any member of the Blue Movement is eligible to apply as long as you meet the requirement. I'll be elected, and the General Commissioner will be elected. And we both are governed by the instructions of the Blue Charter, our constitution, and the General Commissioner is free to do his or her job without fear or favor, because I've got no power or control over him. I do not appoint him or her, or I've got no control. That's how we intend to run. And the reason for that is simply because we believe in the principle of the separation of powers to enhance and empower real, proactive, and progressive democracy. So those are the three wings, the three organs of the Blue Movement. Now, in my to actually deliver policy, to deliver the vision or the annual targets of the organization, about 8 divisions have been created. They are like, for example, the ministries of governance. These divisions are, you've got the executive office, which is my office. Obviously, I'm in charge of policy delivery. I'm in charge of target delivery. I'm ensure that whatever is decided upon by the annual review committee is delivered. So I am in charge of the global operation, all the divisions in all the administrative regions of the world. I ensure that what we agree to deliver and achieve is actually achieved. And these divisions, as I've said, there are 8 in number. We have the executive office, which is my office. And I've just explained that my role, I'm the administrator, in the chief executive officer. I'm the general director, if you like, of the Blue Movement. The next division is referred to as the internal liaisons division. and it is headed by the chairman. And this division simply ensures that there is a kind of synchronized, operational system between the divisions. The chairman ensures that whatever, items or accessories required for competent performance is delivered to all the divisions. The chairman ensures that we meet all legal requirements in every nation or region that we operate in. The chairman ensures or is in charge of conflict and complaint management. The chairman ensures that discipline and order are maintained in all administrations. So the role of the chairman is to ensure discipline and order, synchronized operational system, legality of the Blue Movement, and the conduction or the conduction of conflict management and complaints management in the Blue Movement. The next division is called the Revenue Division. Obviously, as the name implies, the revenue manager is in charge of the revenue expansion, ensures that we grow financially. We adopt smart revenue generation methods, ensures that we have a very responsible control of the budget, ensures that we invest smartly and wisely, ensures that the Blue Movement is financially sound. That's the job of the revenue division. The next division is the Blue Media Division. The Blue Media Division is basically in charge of information and communication, and it is headed by the Secretary General. The Blue Media Division is in charge of promoting the Blue Movement. It's the Public Relations Division. Okay, it ensures that our social media outlets, WhatsApp, Telegram, the website, and so on and so forth, Facebook accounts, and all that kind of stuff, are very professionally monitored and managed. Now, this division is in charge of giving us a very positive public image. The next division that we have is the Logistics Division. This division is the procurement division. It ensures that whatever items, for example, in Africa, are needed by our Blue administrative teams, whatever items that are required, be it an office material or any other requirement, the Logistics Division ensures that those items are secured and shipped or transported to wherever they're needed. Logistics Division. The Logistics Division is also in charge of events management. Throughout the year, we have 4 major events. We celebrate the Blue Day, which coincides with the Africa Day in May. We celebrate Blue Members Day in recognition of the commendable efforts of you, the members of the organization. We also have the annual conference in December, wherein we meet and then obviously celebrate our achievement for the year and then decide on what we're going to do the following year. So the Logistics Division is responsible for competently managing this event and ensuring that they go on, they are very smoothly conducted. The next division is the Blue Fair Division. The Blue Fair Division is basically the Social Affairs Division. It's in charge of recruitment, in charge of the internal welfare of the members. Recruitment. It ensures that you get your ID card, the blue card, for example. It ensures that your application forms are processed accordingly and stored accordingly. Organizational professionalism is the responsibility, of the divisions. And the Social Affairs Division, or as we call it, the Blue Fair Division, is in charge of these aspects of the social affairs. The Blue Fair Division is also responsible for ensuring that our members, for ensuring that there is internal solidarity between members. For example, if a member has a birthday or is celebrating an incident or mourning something, we're there as an organization to support them, to provide comfort for them. So what you will see is, if you're a member of the Blue Movement, as we go along, even before you telling us that it's your birthday, the social affairs manager will actually inform our groups that it's your birthday, and everyone will come on board to wish you well, and then wherever possible, we can actually pay you visits, whatever the number is, to celebrate or mourn with you. So internal solidarity is a major aspect of the responsibility of the Blue Fair division. The other division that is also very important to us is the Blue Union division. Now, the Blue Union division, as I've said, the Blue Fair division is in charge of internal welfare. The Blue Union division is in charge of external welfare. Say, for example, we have the Blue Students Association in the Blue Movement. So what this division does, it ensures that the members of the Blue Movement that are students and are part of the Blue Association and the Blue Students Association, wherever they are in the world, the regional administrations will be in touch with them, find out what problems they are facing. Wherever possible, where we can help, we will try to do our best. And where we can't help, we will ensure we provide guidance and procedures and means of relaying their concerns and their problems to the relevant authorities of governance. So whatever happens, they will not be left alone. We'll be there for them wherever they are in the world. And that's the job of the Blue Union, creating external welfare. I was trying to seek the welfare of members outside the Blue Union, or the Blue Movement. The other important role of the Blue Union is to establish the lost link between the indigenes of Africa and African descendants abroad in other continents, in the West Indies, in Black Americans, Black Europeans, all that kind of stuff, because that link seems to have been lost. So in the Blue Movement, we have created what we refer to as the Blue Volunteer Service. In time to come, it is going to be the strong link between the African mainland and our brothers and sisters who are descendants of the African continent. The other division that is very important, I've already explained, is the Blue Commission. As I've said, the Blue Commission acts like, if you like the judiciary. Okay, and the head of the Blue Commission is the General Commissioner. And I've already explained that I can't sack him, I do not appoint him, he or she is elected. Okay, and his job or her job is to ensure that the Blue Charter is adhered to, and that we operate accordingly. And he or she is in charge of the conduction of internal elections and meting out punishment for misconduct. Okay, so these are the divisions of the Blue Movement, and they exist to help us achieve our proactive and progressive vision. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Movement, as I've said, is the modern phase of the African struggle. We exist not to protest, but to act. We exist not as enemies of the state, but as a complementary unit that wishes any government of the day well. Our role is not to be against anyone. Our role is not to be against the government of the day or any government of the day. Our role is to enhance and empower you, the members, to fulfill your civilian role in society. That's what we are for, and that's what we're going to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Movement is not a magical organization. We do not claim to have answers to everything. We are not an organization that is going to solve the problems of the world. No. We are a practical organization that's simply convinced that as Africans, if we unite, pool our resources together, think laterally, we can move mountains, we can solve our problems, and we can restore dignity to the African continent. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in the ethos of collective power, if you're someone who subscribes to the idea of inclusive prosperity, if you are an individual who stands or who believes in the traditional spirit of Africa's Ubuntu, come on board, join the Blue Movement, and together let us smash the walls of backwardness, corruption, and disgrace. Thank you very much. I'm Bashir Vande. Thanks for listening. Ubuntu, be the change.